In the shadowed woods of northern Europe, where the trees whispered secrets older than Rome itself, a betrayal was taking shape. A betrayal so devastating it shattered Rome's dream of conquering Germania and echoed through history for centuries. This is the story of Arminius, the warrior raised by Rome who turned his sword against it and forever altered the fate of an empire. Join us for another deep dive into the ancient world and subscribe to Weaver's Nest so you never miss history's greatest dramas. At the turn of the 1st century AD, Rome was pushing hard to expand its borders under Emperor Augustus. Germania Magna, the vast tribal lands east of the Rhine, was next on the map. Roman legions moved in, setting up forts, building roads, and enforcing Roman law. But the Germanic tribes, fragmented and fiercely independent, didn't take well to foreign rule. They had their own leaders, their own customs, and most of all, their own pride. Among these tribes, the Cherusci tribe stood out. Their chieftain's son, Arminius, was taken as a diplomatic hostage, a common Roman practice to ensure loyalty. Raised in the heart of the empire, he was given a Roman education, granted citizenship, and even earned the title of eques, a Roman knight. He fought for Rome, commanded auxiliary troops, and learned their battle strategies firsthand. To the Romans, he was the perfect ally, but to Arminius, this was only half the story. While he lived the Roman life, Arminius watched as Roman officials like Publius Quinctilius Varus, the governor of Germania, abused their power. According to Roman historian Tacitus, Varus governed with arrogance, imposing heavy taxes and disregarding local customs. The final straw came when Varus tried to impose full Roman administration over Germania, treating it as a subjugated province, ignoring that many tribes had never formally surrendered. Arminius returned to his homeland under the guise of loyalty, but in secret he began forging a coalition, uniting rival tribes like the Bructeri, Chatti, Marsi, and others. A nearly impossible feat, but Arminius wasn't just a warrior. He was a tactician, a unifier, and most dangerously, a man who knew the Roman playbook by heart. This was not just rebellion, it was a trap. In September of 9 AD, Governor Varus led 3 legions, 17th, 18th, and 19th, deep into the Teutoburg forest, believing he was suppressing a minor tribal uprising. Arminius was with him, advising him, trusted, respected, and then he vanished. What followed was 3 days of chaos. Germanic warriors, hidden in the thick undergrowth, attacked with ruthless precision. The Romans, stretched thin in marching columns, couldn't form their famed battle formations. Rain and mud bogged them down. Supply lines were cut. Morale collapsed. Modern archaeological digs at Calcresa, believed to be the battle site, uncovered over 6,000 Roman artifacts, coins bearing Varus's name, spearheads, shackles, fragments of helmets, and even the remnants of fortifications hastily built in desperation. No Roman survived. The 3 legions were utterly destroyed, their eagle standards lost, a disgrace of the highest order. Back in Rome, the impact was seismic. Ancient sources like Suetonius and Cassius Dio describe Emperor Augustus in shock, reportedly shouting, "Quinctilius Varus, give me back my legions," over and over. It was more than a military disaster. It was psychological. Rome halted its expansion east of the Rhine. Never again would the empire attempt full-scale conquest of Germania. Arminius became a symbol of freedom among Germanic peoples. But not all admired him. His own allies grew wary. His power grew too fast, his ambitions too high. In 21 AD, he was assassinated by rival chieftains, possibly even his own relatives. Yet his legacy endured. By halting Roman expansion, Arminius helped preserve the cultural and political independence of the Germanic world, a world that would later give rise to modern nations like Germany, the Netherlands, and beyond. Some historians even argue that without the Teutoburg disaster, Europe might have been Romanized beyond recognition, perhaps even Latin-speaking from the Rhine to the Elbe. Today, Arminius, also known by his Latinized name Hermann, is commemorated by the massive Hermannsdenkmal monument in Germany. His story has inspired books like The Battle That Stopped Rome by Peter S. Wells, which draws heavily from archaeology, and the TV series Barbarians, 2020, on Netflix, which dramatizes the events of the Teutoburg forest. He's featured in numerous documentaries, including Rome, Rise and Fall of an Empire, History Channel, and BBC's Ancient Rome, The Rise and Fall of an Empire. Arminius was Rome's greatest betrayal, but to his people, he was a liberator. His actions reshaped Europe and showed the world that even empires bleed. In the echoes of the forest, his legacy still lingers. Now, what do you think about Arminius? A traitor to Rome or a hero of freedom? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Weaver's Nest for more forgotten legends and hidden history.